Hi, my name is Aubre Shelby, and I am doing my book report for Dr. Hayes and Authentic Christianity. I chose to do Saving Your Marriage Before It Starts by Les and Leslie Parrott. This is just a book about 7 key questions that they found that were important for other couples to hear and understand, to be able to identify and overcome certain situations in order to help build their happy and healthy marriage. Here is a picture of the book. Now, it is an audio book, but that's just because I am not much of a reader, unless it is my Bible. So just a couple of things that I felt were insightful in this book was speaking the same language. Now, I actually happen to be married, but I never feel like it's ever too late or too early to work on your marriage. So this one kind of hit home for actually me and Derek both, because we've actually heard this before, like this topic before. His dad has actually talked to us about it. So it's pretty much just the importance on communicating and hearing each other. So men hear differently than women do. There's blue ears and there is pink ears. So just an example that I would give is if I were to say something to Derek that I didn't feel rude, or that I felt was okay, that I didn't say anything wrong, but maybe he heard it as if I was attacking him, like it was just totally taken out of context and it could lead to a fight or something like that. So it's just very important on the way that you communicate with each other, but it's also very important to know how the other one hears things. So just the importance on creating a safe and comfortable environment to be able to sit down and talk to each other and be like, hey, you told me this, but I heard this and it made me feel this way. So I just found that very important and insightful. Also, something I've heard before, but again, it's just very important. Communication, I feel like, is the number one thing that you can work on and improve on in your marriage. Um, the next thing that I found was insightful, and this is very simple, but it was just like, I don't know, it was just eye opening. It was really good. They called it making happiness a habit, and that sounds very weird, but it's just like it's very good at the same time. An example that they gave was don't look at other marriages and like compare it to your own, because your marriage is your own unique and your own unique bond and covenant that you have together. So if you were to look at another marriage and you were to be like, oh, I wish I had that, or look at this marriage and be like, oh, I wish I had this. It starts putting negativity in you, and then you start putting that negativity in your marriage, and like happiness begins to like not be there anymore. So if you put positivity in your marriage and like you put positive things in your marriage and like not compare your marriage to other people's, then it's then you're gonna have a happy marriage. So I just thought that was very insightful and just eye-opening, even though it was very simple, but I thought it was very good at the same time. Another thing is be careful about negative interpretations and comments. So just one of these things was if if Derek were to come home like all mad and he had a bad day or something, but I was sitting there and I wanted to tell him something, I was excited and I wanted him to be excited for me or something like that, but like he just wasn't giving me that, like you shouldn't interpret it as like he's mad at you. Like that's the way I would have probably interpreted it, but like that's not the reason at all. So like don't interpret it as a negative situation. Instead, like communicate and talk to each other, and just refrain from also negative comments that you may have in that situation as well, because it could lead to a fight. So these are just a couple of things that I found were insightful. I definitely recommend this book. Um, it's a very good book to read, even if you're single, engaged, or married. Even though it says saving your marriage before it starts. So again, I recommend this book, and this is my book report. Thank you for watching, Dr. Hayes.